We're back to the Neil Haley Show, and my guest today is Anson Williams. Anson, thanks for stopping by from Happy Days and much more. We talked a lot about Crazy Mama. We're going to get to that, but I want to hear about philanthropic things. And let's talk about Doors of Change. Because, Anson,
Oh
the
yeah.
bottom line is if we're not helping people with when we get certain platforms like we both have been blessed to have in our lives and an influence, and we don't use that influence to help others, we're really missing out in life.
Well, that's the whole purpose is leaving it a little better, right?
Right.
It's and- well, we really actually Gary Marshall was very responsible, influencing all of us early on. He said, he said, you guys are going to be famous. There's going to be a light on you. Make sure you take that light and shine it on people that you can help. Take that platform for other people, their hard work, and make sure they're successful. So we've lived by that. 50 years. This is the 50th anniversary, 50th year anniversary of Happy Days. Can you believe it?
Oh
It
my
went on
gosh.
air 50 years ago. 50 years ago. Yeah. But anyway, yeah, but Gary was a big part of that. So we all do that. If we can help, we're there. We're there, every one of us. And Doors of Change, I mean, I am so proud that I get to be able to talk about it and do a little bit, help from my side a little bit. The man who did the hard work is Jeffrey Sidkoff, and he created Doors of Change 22 years ago in San Diego. And there's over 4 million homeless kids on the street here in America. He has helped thousands of them. Doors of Change brings these kids off the street, clothes them, feeds them, medical, all that. But more than anything, he created this very unusual, wonderful arts program. Because these kids come off the street and they're hardened and you can't get to them. But through music and through the arts, he's able to patiently, quietly bring down the barriers where these kids actually start loving themselves again. And they become very productive young people. These kids from the street, they're dentists, they're lawyers, they're doctors, they're engineers. The success rate is crazy good and long term. And if people go to doorsofchange.org, they can learn all about the marvelous work Jeffrey's done, and all the funds go to these kids. But what we want to do, I mean, we do. This is San Diego, but there should be chapters of Doors of Change in every city of this country. And if people go to doorsofchange.org, they can learn all about it. They can call Jeffrey, and you can create your own Doors of Change in your community to help kids on the street in your community. Very important, very effective. And I can't promote this organization enough. It's just a tremendous asset to children all over the country.
It totally is. And the homeless kids should not be homeless. Kids should not be abused
No,
either. So the
no,
homeless leads to abuse, types of environments, because we define homeless a little differently than maybe our listeners understand, right? The homeless doesn't mean that they're on the streets. Sometimes homeless means that they don't have a place that's a permanent place to live, right?
right, right. Well, it's a combination, but a lot are on the street. I mean, literally living on the street, and that comes from broken homes, dysfunctional parents. I mean, all sorts of reasons. But it's grown exponentially in the last 10, 20 years. Huge. And but there are ways to help. There are ways to help, and that's Doors of Change. And every community can be part of Doors of Change, and you can actually get some very. You can get these kids off the street and give them productive lives. And these kids, the kids that go through this, they're helping other kids now. So it echoes through. I can't. Be strong. I'm so passionate about people getting involved with Doors of Change and becoming part of it.
No, totally hear you. It's for sure, and you're excited because you're going to be there, right? That's another part of it,
I,
right? You're going to.
well, yeah. Well, San Diego concerts July 27th in San Diego, and it stars Casey and the Sunshine Band. It's a big fundraiser, and I'll be co-hosting that. And it's just a fabulous show, and also major celebrities like Elton John and Billy Joel and the Stones, they've all contributed to sign guitar, whatever, all these valuable items they've donated to change that will be auctioned off at the So it's just Jeffrey has hit the hearts of so many, uh, and the results are just incredible. For 20 thousands of kids, he's gotten off the streets.
That's crazy, man. It's so good to hear something like this happen. And who else? Are there going to be other people than Casey and the Sunshine Band and yourself? Other people else will be attending?
So far I'm sure there will be, but that's who I know right now.
Well, I
And I
want to
think any
join. I
changes.
hope. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm
Go
sorry.
ahead, Anson. Go
Oh, I
ahead,
was just
Anson.
saying, if they go to doorstochange.org, it'll always be updated, so they'll know exactly what's going on.
Well, the way I know you so well, Anson, is because you have the greatest publicist in the world, and that's Harlan Ball. Harlan is
Yes.
tremendous. I wrestled. Oh my gosh, what in my brain? I've interviewed so many of his great stars, and he does such great work. I'm going to reach out to them, and hopefully, I can attend and be there, Anson. And I have some foundation I'm working with right now that I'm on the board, and it's involving pregnant women in need. So we definitely need to talk about that because there are children that are pregnant or on the streets as well. So there could be some good collaborations moving forward with Doors of Change and what we're doing. And we'll definitely have to have that conversation for sure. Now let's talk about Crazy Mama. After I interviewed you, Anson, I had Carolyn Hennessy on, and man, oh man, that story, it's so amazing what your wife's doing with this and how you're doing this and getting Carolyn. It's a great project, isn't it?
Oh, it's so my wife wrote it, but she's an award-winning writer, and she wrote these award-winning like short memoir pieces about her upbringing. It's a true story. I mean, she had just a normal life, and everything's great. She comes home one day from school, 8 years old, and she walks in, and her mom had a psychotic breakdown. Will she ever get her mother back? It's a story of love and madness. But the show itself also has a blues player, Luke Wygodny, so music's very much a part of it. But it tells the story that's just a powerhouse. It's entertaining, but it also gets into mental illness and the effect of it, but also the hope. It's such a rocky ending. I'm not going to get into it. It's such an inspiring show. Families that come in walk out of the theater closer. And what's so interesting, we were doing Crazy Mama workshops here in California, and there were standing ovations at intermission. That's how it had affected people so deeply, because everyone, even you might not have that kind of problem in your house, but everyone has something. Everyone has a mom. There's always something. It hits people in so many different levels, in a real positive, emotional way, healing way. And I just can't wait. We're going to be opening at Bethel Woods April 12th in Bethel, New York. That's where the original Woodstock took place. And now it's this huge complex, and they're going to go into theater, and we were the first play they picked. And I have the honor of directing it. And so we'll be opening there April 12th. And by the way, Carolyn's schedule changed, so now Lee Purcell will be playing the lead
Oh, okay.
at Bethel Woods. Lee
Okay.
Purcell. And
Okay.
it's a fabulous, uplifting, important show that again also educates, also helps. And with mental illness in our country right now, it's nice to have a show that's that tactile and connectable. And we're going to be touring it with a few actors all over the place. I think it's going to have tremendous influence.
Well, Anson, we're definitely gonna have that back on the show to talk about that again further. And Lee is now on it, so I know that I'll talk to Harlan to get to interview her. And it's just such a great
Yes,
project, and I hope it gets to Broadway. I know this is the first step, right, Anson? If you do
yeah,
well here, you
yeah.
never know.
That's we're sure trying. I think we have a good chance. I think we're going to get to Broadway. You know,
Well,
and
if that happens,
I
Anson, I'm coming to Broadway to see you for sure, no doubt.
oh God,
Yeah,
absolutely.
when Pittsburgh to New York will be on Broadway. Just got to manifest it and it will happen. Anson, best place people can connect with you is your website and social media.
I'm so bad. I have a Facebook. It's open. They can connect with me there. But as far as Doors of Change, doorsofchange.org. and then Bethelwoodcenter.org, or they can go to Ticketmaster for Crazy Mama.
All right. Appreciate it, sir. You're listening and watching The Neil Haley Show, and we'll be back in just a moment.